These are just a few reasons why it absolutely sucks to fight Islam Makhachev. Let me take you to the deep ocean, because there's more to it. The Dagestani Blanket 2.0. I remember the first time I saw Makhachev perform back in 2015. I wasn't looking at the takedown yet, I was just checking his composure. And then he shifted his weight, and Leo Kuntz looks like he suddenly forgot how to stand. Some fighters are dangerous when they get you to the ground. Makhachev is dangerous the moment he thinks about bringing you down. Forget grappling, this man neutralizes his opponents. It's like dealing with an anaconda. Once you're on your back, you don't just lose the round. You lose your breath, hope, and decide never to attempt a double leg again. Khabib overwhelmed his opponents and dominated them. But Islam, he wraps them up and drags them to the deep ocean, like 200 feet below sea level. Some say his past opponents are still down there, next to Patrick and SpongeBob. His balance, control, and timing are so dialed in. It's like he predicts each transition before his opponent even twitches. They don't get back up, because they don't even remember what up is. Let me take you back to UFC 280. Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira. Dubronx stood at 5'10", 155 pounds, had 33 wins, 21 submissions, 8 losses, and the 3.5-inch reach advantage over Islam. Not only does he hold the world record for the most submissions in UFC history, he's a whirlwind of chaos, knockdowns, and guillotine threats. He came in on an 11-fight win streak, submitting Gaethje, Poirier, and Chandler. People actually thought he could submit Islam, which aged like milk. Islam brought him down like he was hitting X in UFC 4. No struggle, no drama, just seamless top control and soul-draining pressure. He bypassed Charles' guard like it wasn't even there. When Charles tried to post up, Islam wrapped the arm, isolated the arm triangle tight. Charles Oliveira, the submission king, tapped like a chicken. But if you think, well, maybe he should have kept it standing, bless your heart, because the next topic is about that exact scenario. The southpaw surprise. The thing about Islam that people forget is that he can shut down your game just as easily as he can wrestle you into existential despair. His foundation is grappling, but his striking ends fights on its own. Not with volume, but intent. Southpaws are notoriously awkward, and Islam uses that to his advantage. For context, 9 in 10 fighters are right-handed, so that's what gyms are built around. But when you face a southpaw, the rhythm changes and jabs line up differently. Like your muscle memory is drunk and keeps reaching for something that's not there. Your power side is now facing theirs, and there's more risk in exchanges. Angles change, especially for kicks and straight punches. It's like playing on an Xbox controller at your friend's house when you've played PlayStation your whole life. Frustrating. Opponents train countless hours to sprawl and transition, expecting grappling, and then, bam, head kick. Let me take you back to UFC 294. Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski 2. Volk, standing at 5'6" of compact chaos, weighing 155 pounds, had 26 wins, 13 finishes, and 2 losses. The reigning featherweight champion and the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world. A man who pushed Islam to the edge in their first encounter with his pressure, pace, and cardio. He stepped in on 11 days' notice and still looked confident, until Islam saw an opening and shut his lights out. During round 1, a seasoned veteran like Volk thinks this was just a feel-out phase. He's still reading the range, and maybe setting up a feint. Meanwhile, Islam's bouncing around composed, and then detonation. A clean left high kick cut through Volk's guard and made him collapse harder than McGregor's career. Volk's legs gave out, his focus disconnects, and after 2 precision follow-ups by Makhachev, it was all over. Just like that. No wrestling, no takedown, no transitions. Just one of those highlight reels that will be replayed for years. He's not just a grappler anymore. He's a southpaw sniper now. And if you think, well, just watch out for that head kick. Good luck seeing it coming when the grappling threat is always in the back of your mind. The control freak. Let me take you back to UFC 267. Islam Makhachev versus Dan Hooker. Hooker, with 21 wins, 10 finishes, 10 losses, standing at 6 feet tall and weighing 155 pounds. He was a durable striker, a fan-favorite competitor with great knees and sharp hands. Solid takedown defense too. He'd gone the distance with Dustin Poirier and Paul Felder, but he had no idea what kind of challenge he had just stepped into. I had some friends over the night Islam faced Dan Hooker. I remember telling them, Hooker's tough, man. He survived Poirier. He might give Islam problems. I thought he'd use his reach to keep Islam honest. You know, maybe stuff a few takedowns, keep it scrappy. Islam shut my theory down quickly. 30 seconds in, we were all dead silent. Not because anything dramatic had happened, but because Islam was already climbing him like a jungle gym, and Dan couldn't do a thing about it. He moved in, secured the body lock, brought Dan Hooker down like it was routine maintenance. No setup, no struggle, just control, pass, and isolate. And once he trapped the arm, Hooker wasn't defending. The guy was stuck, and not the weird internet kind of stuck. Makhachev cranked the Kimura like he was closing a car door, and that was it. A first-round submission win. And the bout was done in under 3 minutes. Dan Hooker, a UFC veteran who'd been in multiple 5-round showdowns, didn't land a single significant strike on Khabib's protege. Oh well, thankfully we still had wings and beer left. And if you think maybe if they survive the grappling, Islam doesn't stall when he's on top. He ends fights quicker than Leo breaks up with girls once they turn 25. The chess place. Let me take you back to UFC Fight Night 149. Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. Before he became champion, before the call-outs and the belts, Islam faced a 22-year-old wide-eyed kid on short notice. It was that kid's UFC debut, but he wasn't intimidated by Islam. His name was Arman Tsarukyan, and what was supposed to be a warm-up turned into Islam's toughest challenge. And that's straight from the man himself. Arman, standing at 5'7", had 13 wins, 5 submission victories, and only 1 loss on his resume. Nobody expected much from him, but we got a full-on wrestling clinic from both athletes. No mauling from Islam this time. It was a chess match. Arman matched Islam in transitions, landed his own takedowns, and forced Islam to make real-time adjustments on the mat. And to his credit, Islam never panicked. He just made better decisions in every exchange. When the momentum tilted slightly, he took full advantage. When Arman hesitated, Islam advanced. 3 rounds later, he walked away with a unanimous decision, having outmaneuvered one of the best young wrestlers in the sport. The reason why Islam wins is because he makes fewer mistakes than everyone else, and capitalizes the moment they do. The endless engine. There's a sleeper weapon in Islam's arsenal, the cardio that never fades, pace that never slows down, and an energy that makes you wonder what they put in the water over at Dagestan. You know how some fighters push a fast pace early, then slow down by round 2? Islam's the opposite. He starts steady, and then somehow it gets more difficult for his opponent every minute they're in there. He doesn't fatigue, and he doesn't give you any chance to reset. Competing against Islam for 25 minutes is like getting held underwater by someone who's calmly discussing dinner plans. Keeps advancing, chaining techniques, and draining your will to even try. Let me take you back to UFC 259. Islam Makhachev versus Drew Dober. Standing at 5'8", Drew Dober had 23 wins, 10 finishes, 6 submissions, and 9 losses. Dober came in on a hot streak, 3 straight finishes, built like a brick wall, cardio for days. People say he could push Islam, transition, strike, or even drag him into deep water. They failed to realize that Makhachev himself is the deep water. He took Dober down early, kept him there, and drowned every escape attempt with surgical control. His transitions were seamless, and his pressure never dipped. In round 3, when most grapplers slowed down, Islam submitted him with a mounted triangle into an arm triangle. That's not just good grappling. That's a training dummy drill. Except the dummy is one of the top 15 lightweights in the world. Every mistake gets punished. Beating Islam in a bout isn't just hard, it's nearly impossible, because he doesn't let anything slide. If you step the wrong way, you're on your back. If you post up wrong, your arm is trapped. If you overcommit for a second, you're stuck in something you didn't even train for. He doesn't need a big opening. He just needs you to blink. And once you do, he's already setting the trap and completing the sequence. Everything Islam does is calculated. One move triggers the next. Let me take you back to UFC Fight Night 192. Islam Makhachev versus Thiago Moises. Standing at 5'9" and weighing 155 pounds, Thiago Moises had 15 wins, 6 submission victories, 3 finishes, and 4 losses. Moises was no slouch. He had solid striking, legit grappling, and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. This was supposed to be a technical battle, but Makhachev never let it get there. He brought Moises to the mat early, controlled every position, and didn't let the poor guy breathe. The moment Moises tried to create space, Islam trapped the back, and the second the arm lifted, boom. A finish via rear naked choke in the 4th round. Clean, quiet, and clinical. You don't get second chances with Islam. You get exposed. And that's why even the toughest guys come out of competing against him looking confused. Like they lost to a man who looked bored doing it.